Hi, it's so nice to finally be able to sit down and be back and just take a moment to really breathe, for sure. You know, I always forget why I even started to make videos in the first place, and it really, it's because I forget that it was to document how I feel, what I learn, and just my life as I grow, as I, try to become who I'm meant to be. And I forget that I'm documenting this mostly so my daughter can always look back on this and but not just her, but for the selfish reason that I also want to keep my progress, and I want to be able to look back on it and reflect, and as I do all the time, and also just to provide some sort of comfort for people who feel like maybe they're in the same kind of limbo state as me. So this video is a little different. I'm not coming in with a clear topic. I'm just venting, because sometimes that's just what we need as humans, is just to vent, to express what we feel. And if I'm being really honest, I put an egregious amount of pressure on myself, insane. I have been struggling so long. Sorry, I don't want to say that I hate that I cry, because I don't. I'm just a very emotional person. But at the same time, why are people so afraid of being vulnerable? Why does it seem so shameful to just feel what you feel and to express the weight of that, And it's kind of weird to me, because literally in every single one of my videos, I've just cried. That's all it is. It's just me crying about something else. But maybe that's just what feels right to me. And if it feels right to me, then I'm gonna do it, because I need to. It's not even a want. It's not even a desire anymore. It's my soul needs to. Because otherwise I just ignore it. I try to run from it. I try to suffocate the feeling, but nothing ever really makes it go away, because it's not meant to go away. It's meant for me to face, face forward and just feel. That's all it asks. When it comes up, it's just meant to be felt. And sometimes it's easier not to. Sometimes it's easier to turn the other way, to distract yourself with other people, with other problems, with other things in the world. Situations, maybe money troubles, maybe car troubles, maybe, if you're anything like me, just trying to find another job and just trying to find my purpose in the world. And I use these things to distract myself from the real fact that I'm hurting. I hurt a lot, and I don't know why that's so hard for me to admit, when it shouldn't be. Because deep down, all I want is to be able to have the bravery to express how I feel. All I have begged for is for bravery, for courage to express how I feel, because it takes such a giant toll on me. And I'm sorry that I'm crying. I really am. But this is so important to me. It really is. I'm done trying to wrestle with having to contain my emotions, having to have my whole life figured out. I'm done trying to ignore the pain that I feel when that's not what it's asking of me. So I'm gonna sit here. I'm gonna force myself, not force myself like out of discipline, but force myself out of devotion to myself to feel it. I mean, I have, this whole night, I have just sat here and felt it. But in every single one of my videos, I've noticed, this is totally off topic, that I like rub my nose and like you can just kind of see it like come up a little bit and stuff, because I'm sorry, my nose runs when I cry. I'm like that, the little guy in the animes that has like the boogers running down his nose while he's just sobbing. That's me. Actually me. But anyways, let me steer this back on track to my first point. I put an insane amount of pressure on myself. Not only as a confused 20-year-old, not only as a mom, not only as an immigrant having to live in a country that continuously treats people like me like we're not humans. And that has been such a hard thing to face, because it's something I've faced my entire life. Really. And I'm sorry that I take breaks. I'm sorry that I'm covering my mouth. My cat is at the door. Anyways, it's important for me to just kind of pace myself, because if I don't, I will literally just sit here and sob on camera. But I put so much pressure on myself to figure it out, to be where I'm meant to be, wherever that is in the future, and to just, you know, I live in my daydreams. I live in this fantasy world where I can take people's pain away from them, and I can make them feel better, and I can ignore my pain because I'm being so selfless. I'm helping others. I'm lifting them up. But also in this fantasy world where I am already where I'm meant to be. I think I already said that, but I ignore how hard it is to get there. And even then, like, where is there? Where is there? Where am I trying to go? Like, that's the thing. It's like I've always been in such a rush to get there, but where is there? You know? And I think that's just another way to ignore the fact that, like, yeah, life is very fucking hard. Life is so hard. And I'm not gonna sit here and try to be like a victim or anything, because that's not what I want to do. But I'm just admitting the fact that I don't have my life together. I don't. And that I'm not where I want to be. And that's okay, I guess. I mean, I know it's okay. I know it is. But it's like, if I'm being so honest, I have this feeling deep in my heart. You can see my little cats too. I have this feeling deep in my heart that, like, I can't ignore anymore. Because for so long, I've done nothing but betray my heart. My entire life, I have sat here and I've made decisions that go against my heart, that break it on purpose. Because the truth was always too big of a pill to swallow. And a lot of my life, these past couple months, couple years, has been just having to undo that and having to build trust in my heart again and letting it come to me again. Because why would it? Like, when someone treats you bad for so long, why, at what point do you feel like you can trust them again, you know, if ever? So it goes the same way with my heart. It's like, why would my heart begin to trust me when I've proven to it time and time again that it meant nothing to me, that the way it felt meant nothing to me, that what I wanted meant nothing to me, you know? That what it felt wasn't real, because I just wanted so badly for the future, the life, the day that I wanted to be real, but it never was. It never was. I run away from reality a lot. I really do. And I tell myself it's because I'm just an optimistic person. Because without hope, I have nothing. But some days I'm not strong enough to have hope. Some days I'm only strong enough to brush my fucking teeth, you know? And I try really hard to have faith. I try really hard to believe in love. I try really hard to reprogram my mind and tell myself I'm worthy, and to tell myself that someday things will be okay for me. And some days it feels like that day will never come. I'm not apologizing for crying. I'm not, because this is really how it feels. This is how it feels for me to navigate life. And I don't know a single person who doesn't feel the same way I do. So in my mind, I'm like, why are we all pretending to be okay? Why have we been so conditioned to believe that it's easier to ignore the pain that we feel and to suppress it? You know? It's like, I've been the one to break my own heart my entire life. Not entirely, but mostly. But at the same time, I was just a kid most of my life. Up until this point, at 24 years old, I've only been a kid. How was I supposed to know? You know? And I don't want to blame anybody else. I don't want to blame myself. I don't want to blame anybody. I really don't. Because I'm tired. I'm tired of blaming people. I'm tired of ignoring what I want in this world. I just want to share my perspective of the world. I just want to tell stories. I want to touch people's souls, and I want to just feel it in the palm of my hand, and I want to feel like I'm a part of them, and I want to feel like I'm a part of this world, and I want to feel like I contribute to society, and I want to feel like my voice matters, and I want to feel happy one day, and I want to live in a world where everybody can be happy, where everybody can speak truth upon who they really are. I don't know. And I've sat here with myself, this past week especially, I've sat here with myself being like, why am I not happy? I'm doing all the right things. Why is this not happening for me? Like, what's going wrong? And it's because I try to just pretend like my pain doesn't exist. Like I don't hurt. I try to pretend that if I just pretend to ignore it, if I just look the other way, then maybe it'll go away. And I don't think it does. And I know, don't even begin to tell me, I know these things, and that's the thing, I'm self-aware, I know what I'm supposed to do, but at the end of the day, I'm just another confused, lost 20-year-old trying to navigate a collapsing society, you know. And when I put it like that, all my problems just seem so unreal. They seem so absurd. They seem so small. They seem... It's almost like I feel so lighthearted sitting here being able to admit that openly to not only myself but to the world, like to people. My entire life, all I've wanted was to be normal. My entire life. I've sat there and I've been like, why am I not normal? Why can't I be normal? Why can't I just accept what is given to me? Why do I always need to have more? Why do I have desires? Why am I here? What is my purpose? What am I doing? And the answer is, I don't know. I don't think I'm meant to know. I don't think any amount of answers could ever really fully satisfy this hole I have in my soul. And I think that's okay, because I think I'm always meant to have that hole in my soul that is meant to just always reinforce to me that I'm a human being, that I live and I breathe and I suffer and I cry and I get angry and I'm happy and I get excited and I love and I hate and I resent, and I'm just this complex emotions of an accidental combination of atoms that just so happens to live on a floating rock that is an accidental petri dish. Do you know what I mean? It's like, there's a freedom in admitting that nothing matters, and there's also like a doom in admitting that nothing matters. And I think both can exist. And I know that. I know it's all about balance. I know you can't have one without the other. I know these things. I know. But that doesn't really... Knowing these things, this is what I guess I'm trying to say, is sometimes knowing the answers, sometimes knowing where you're going, sometimes knowing how, and having it so clear in your face will not alleviate anything. And I think I've just given up on finding answers. I've given up on pretending. I've given up on using other people as a distraction from my own hurt. Really. I've given up. I give up. I do. In the best way possible. The best way possible. And this has been so freeing. This admission. And I feel a little better. And I think I'm okay now. You know, and I hope if any of you get anything out of this, out of my tears, out of me sobbing on camera, I hope that it's, I guess that you're not alone. That it's insane that people pretend like we're all alone. Like we've been so conditioned to live in such a hyper individualistic society that we just forget how to care for each other, for ourselves. And what a shame. What a blessing. What a blessing it is to really be able to sit with yourself, know the shape of your soul, and to be able to offer it to the world and be like, here, this is me. Sorry, that's all I have. That's all I have in me. You can take it or leave it, but I'm gonna take it because I don't really have another choice, you know. I've stopped searching for the one day that I'll be happy, The one day that I'll finally be okay. The one day I'll be at peace. Because that one day could be tomorrow. That one day could have been yesterday. But that's the thing, it's not just one day, it's multiple days for the rest of my life. The same way I will suffer and I will cry and I will grieve over old parts of me, over the way this world treats its humans, over the way my daughter breathes. You know? I guess it's all about balance, huh? And I'm just, I don't know. I think in the last 2 videos, I've made the point of saying that, you know, I'm tired of just surviving, and I want to live. And I keep telling myself that. I have that phrase tattooed on my back, literally. Let me live. It's like I'm always fighting with some external source to just let me live. And meanwhile, the external source is like, bitch, what are you talking about? The only person strangling you is yourself. And it's like, you're so right. I'm the only one not letting myself breathe. And I forget how to breathe. And then I remember. And then it feels like the biggest, like it literally feels like the first time oxygen hits the cells of my lungs. Is what it feels like. But anyways, this is a nice little talk for me. And I hope you find some comfort in my words. I hope you find some home in me. Because God knows how long I have been searching for home everywhere else except in me. But yeah. So, and then this part, Sylvia, this is for you. If one day you decide to watch this, and if one day you can suppress the my mom is so cringe thoughts that you will get, is, I guess, let me think about this. In the moments that it's easier for you to pretend like your heart isn't speaking to you, don't choose what's easiest, ever. In the moments your heart tells you to stop, please stop. Put your pride aside. Don't worry about appearances. Don't worry about other people. Because you can worry about them later. You can apologize later. But in the moment, if your heart tells you stop, if your heart tells you no, if your heart tells you something isn't right, please don't ignore it. Please don't betray it. And maybe this is something I would have already, like, instilled in you, that you would have already grown up to, like, believe, that you already know. Maybe you're watching this already and you're like, Mom, I already knew that, because you won't shut up about it. But I can't reinforce how important it is for you to listen to your heart and to never pretend like it doesn't exist. Because your heart is all you have. Your heart keeps you alive. Your heart pumps the blood throughout your body. It keeps you moving. Your heart is so important. It's, I would even beg to say that it's everything. And so, Sylvia, I hope you always choose love. And I hope you always pick yourself. And I hope you always know when to quit. And I hope you always know what feels right. I hope you know how to live a life led by your soul, and not a life led by what is being told to you that is right. what is being told to you that you should do, that you should be, that you should act. I hope you know who you are. And if you ever forget, you can always come right back here. And I'll remind you, just again and again and again, I will always remind you to listen to your heart. Yeah. And so I think that's okay. I think that's good. Thank you for watching. Thank you for letting me vent. Thank you for letting me, you know what? Actually, thank you for stopping by my little corner of the universe. And I'll see you next time.